So I am sitting here with the director of the Crucible, Greg Geffrard. He's also the new head of the BFA Acting program, and we're going to talk a little bit today. Greg, how has your first year here been at GTA?
My first, it's funny, it's not even been a year, it's been a semester and a half.
Right.
I think the biggest point of acclimation is like the pace. Mm-hmm. Like I've been in Chicago for the last 11 years and everything moves at a very specific pace. I just think, a 10-minute walk to the train in -3-degree weather will make you move a little quicker. But it's been really lovely to get to a much more healthier, sustainable pace down here. And the folks down here have been really, really friendly, and the weather is starting to play nice.
It's starting to. It was warm today. It was in the 70s.
It is. This is what I came down here for.
Yes, I was like, it's hot. It's been the first time in years it's been hot. So you're directing the Crucible right now.
Yes, I am.
What is so unique about Greg's production of the Crucible that sets it apart from other productions?
Yes, I'm attempting to do something that I think the play can hold, which is focusing in on the women in the stories. Easier said than done. Arthur Miller has given me. But being that, despite the fact that John Proctor tends to be the one who predominantly tends to be like the lead, the anti-hero, if you will, of the story. But I'm loving I love finding ways of seeing the story through Elizabeth Proctor's eyes, through Abigail's eyes, to be able to see them as full humans, because it's so easy to set them up as just like ideas and just these terrible humans. But everybody kind of played a part in this fear that kind of led to this mass hysteria for these individuals in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692. So attempting to humanize everybody. I mean, John Proctor also included in that. I'm not trying to like just demonize the men, but just the idea of just like making sure that the women have a voice in this story, because that is already there.
So going with that sort of femme forward process, how has the ensemble, both cast and crew, influenced that?
Well, it is, one, they just vocalize just like, hey, we would just like being that that was what I offered to the room. And so it's been really lovely to be in a space of listening and not just trying to project my ideas onto the stage and onto the actors, but just like hearing what they want to contribute, to the point where, you don't know this yet, because I haven't staged it yet, but I'm changing the ending a little bit and just trying to see, because the challenge that was set forth from me, from the cast, was just like, how can we uplift? How can we uplift? And so just trying to find the ways in which to do that. So excited about that, and we'll see if I'm successful.
Yeah, and I hear that because being in the room and being in the show, I've noticed a emphasized focus on culture and sort of how we express ourselves as a group. And I think that is a unique opportunity to explore growth as a collective through the lens of this text and this show. And I think that's great. So come watch The Crucible. It opens February 16th, closes February 24th. It's fantastic. If you're watching this on Facebook or whatever and you're like, I don't know anybody in the show, you know me, I'm in it, you know him, he directed it. So come on down, watch The Crucible, you're going to love it. We're going to transition a little bit, though, to your new position as the head of the BFA Acting program at Brenau. Can you speak a little bit about how you want that to look going forward?
Yes. So we are in a unique position, being that we are two universities who share students, and that's why Games for Theater Alliance is in existence. Something that I really noticed as someone who's been teaching at the collegiate level since 2020. Nothing big happened then.
It's a great year.
Yeah, it's a great year. Such a great year. Memorable. But something that I really started taking note of was the amount of time, obviously, we spent in like Zoom University and the glow boxes, and how that translated to almost a disconnection from our heads and our bodies, just out of necessity, being it's like that is how we were primarily in community with each other, was through these boxes. But being that I love theater and it's a very physical form, I've been really focusing on this idea of reconnection. How does movement express that which words cannot fully carry? I remember when I was living in New York, I worked for the Blue Man Group. And like one of the things I was really excited about was so many people came to see that show, language barrier and all, because the show was accessible to everybody. because even if you don't fully even though you may add and layer your own context onto it, watching literally somebody with like a Twinkie just going, right? It's just like
Yeah.
that reads in a very specific way. And so I'm really excited about the idea of helping to cultivate actors who are physically connected to their bodies, whether or not they want to just stay on the stage or they're just playing around with the details while they're like in film. And so that which I'm the most excited about is just like, how do we infuse this program with a very specific movement pedagogy? So we are living in truth, even though we're being asked to perform something that is larger than ourselves, is still rooted in a truth, still rooted in something that I can connect to and that I have a very specific point of access to, and watching and seeing myself on stage fully expressed.
Yeah, I love that connectivity between heart, mind, soul, body, all of it together. I think you're doing a great job so far.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because they're seeing all of you on stage, so
Yeah.
why not engage all of you on that stage?
Yeah. One last thing, what would you say to someone who is watching this and thinking, hey, GTA, I was thinking about going down the BFA acting path. What would you say to somebody who is thinking about going down that route?
It is great to have a very singular focus as far as just like, I want to perform, this is what I want to do, or I want to design, or I want to. What I would say to them is gain as much experience as you can. Like, yes, come here with your primary focus, but delve into what is a teaching artist class, delve into like what is a design class, delve into like what is like to stage manage, to playwright, because ultimately that which I've found that has helped me, sustain a career for like over the last 15 years is understanding that when I'm not able to do one thing, how do I make sure that that is not my only avenue of being able to do work? Something that I did immediately after I got out of grad school in 2012 was like, I started producing shows. I started producing like original spoken word poetry shows with friends and stuff. So when I was like auditioning and wasn't getting anything, I was still able to get to my work. And so yes, come in with your focus, but also learn that it takes so many people to create this world, and a better understanding of what each of those individuals does, or what each individual does, I think actually makes you a more well-rounded, and how I like to talk about it, make you a multi-hyphenate actor. So you're not limited in your opportunities when one thing isn't working out. If you definitely want to stay in the arts, how can you make sure that you can delve into other things? Because it only expands your experience and deepens your performance when you're able to like pull from a place of like, oh, I understand what it's like to do this. I understand what it's like to do this. So yeah, allow yourself to play in multitudes and not just like keep yourself in one lane.
Yeah, that's so true. We have so many classes that, are offered here, and some of the ones that I've learned the most in, I'm a performer first, but the design classes, the principles of design, the stage management classes, I learned so much, and it helps you communicate with others in the room who are in those positions. It makes you a multifaceted artist, and that's so true.
Yeah, I think one of the classes I took that actually, the class that I primarily took that made me a better actor was the two. I would say script analysis, because the dramaturgy of it all is just like understanding the world that you're navigating in, but directing. Like to be able to understand is just like, oh, that's why a process that I was in wasn't working. It wasn't because this director was a bad director. We just didn't know how to communicate with each other because we didn't have a shared language with each other. But also understanding why choices are made from an outside, decentralized place, I think has really, really helped me to decentralize myself in a way that made me a better and more selfless actor. I wasn't so worried about like, how do I look, where do I move and such. It's just like, no, I'm part of this bigger world, and I have other people on stage that I should be connecting with because we're navigating that world together. So yeah, anything I think that very much as you're talking about, anything that gives you perspective, that allows you to go from the micro to the macro and be able to like see the full picture, like invaluable, just completely and utterly invaluable. And you're paying for it, it's your education, so get as much as you can out of it.
Why not get the most out of it? Well, thank you so much. That was all very well said. Thank you for your time. I've been Ben Perrin. This is Greg Geffrard, and thank you so much.